Hello YouTubers, nice seeing you all. This is not a random picks video, this is another recent vinyl finds video. Some very recent vinyl finds, very cheap vinyl finds, bought at a local charity shop. Actually, I'm going to start with some 78 RPMs, so it's not recent vinyl finds only, it's recent Shellack finds as well. I managed to find some interesting jazz 78 RPMs, among other stuff. This is G. Norman's Just Jazz number 2, 4 o'clock jump and 3 o'clock jump by G. Norman himself. We also hear Benny Carter on all alto saxophone, and we have Errol Garner on piano on this recording, and it's issued on the Swedish label Gazelle, a company owned by Dag Häggkvist, and the label looks like that. Great condition. So I was lucky to find that, and I didn't pay that much for it. All these finds I found for, well, around $1 each. Then we have pianist Lenny Tristano, the Lenny Tristano Sextet, some bebop. It's a Swedish issue, but it's on Capitol, and it's selected for the by the Federation of Swedish Jazz Clubs. So this has to be something a bit extra. We have a nice sextet here. We have, among other great musicians, we have Lee Konitz on alto saxophone. So, and the selection here is Cross Current and Wow, both composed by Lenny Tristano himself. Let's see if we can make the damn thing focus. Yeah, look there. It's slow when it comes to focusing. Oh, and then I found a record. I wasn't sure whether I had it or not. Found out that I had it, and the one I had is in quite good condition, but this is a better copy, and it's Louis Armstrong's Dixieland 7, his Master's Voice Swing Music Series of 1947, Mahogany Hall Stomp by Spencer Williams, and When the Blues Were Born in New Orleans. Looks like this. And I will keep this copy, and I have an idea that my dear collecting friend Falkis 1984, who is a great admirer of both 78 RPM records and Louis Armstrong records, he might want my other older copy, which is very good, but this is a bit better. Unless he already has it, I have to ask him first, of course. Okay, time for Count Basie and his orchestra. We have got the classical Royal Garden Blues, Count Basie and his All-American Rhythm section, and also the Jitters, and this is on Parlophone. And thus, of course, a British issue, probably from 40s, maybe early 50s. Yeah, and now I'm going to show you something. A Deep Purple record on 78 RPM. Yeah? No, I'm not kidding. Not kidding. Well, of course, it's not the rock group Deep Purple, but it's the tune Deep Purple, which was a great hit. And it's played by the super jazz pianist Art Tatum. And it's on the Brunswick label, Deep Purple. And on the other side, we got T for Two by, of course, Vincent Newman's very famous tune there. We got another Brunswick and another Count Basie, Time Out and Our Love Was Meant to Be. I like these Brunswick labels. Well, come on. There we go. And I'm going to show you this one because I like these small 78 RPMs. This is an 8-inch orchestrola from, it was recorded in Berlin in 1929. And it's a band called the Vocalion Band, which can be any kind of studio orchestra. Vocals by the Swedish singer Hilmer Borgling. And the tunes are En kärleksnatt i Barcelona, A Lover's Night in Barcelona, and I glädje och sorg, in Happiness and Sorrow. And these small records can actually have almost the same playing time as the larger 10-inch ones, because you see it's got quite a small label. I actually have a problem playing these on my trusty old Lenko up there, because the tone arm often can't go far enough into the record. It can't go that close to the spindle. It stucks. So I haven't tried playing this, but I would guess that it may have problems playing the very last bit of this record. But I have to check that later. Which is a bit, it's a pity, but still, for now, it's the Lenko that takes care of the 78 RPMs. That was in a bit worse shape than the other records, but I kind of like those small orchestrolas. Okay, here's another parlophone, and it's Count Basie again. It's Louisiana, the Foxtrot, and Modern Swing. Nice jazz selections on this lovely British parlophone label. Isn't it a pity that the Beatles weren't around in the 1930s and made 78 RPMs? Because then the record would have these nice labels. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, well, I'm going to show you. This is not a jazz album. It's a Swedish schlager, lighter pop music. It's a bit beaten up polyphone record from 1929, also recorded in Berlin, with Paul Godwin's dance orchestra and the vocalist Harry Persson. And one of the sides is a tune called Fusiyama, which is a Swedish composition by Helge Lindberg. And the other side, this is the reason why I bought it, has the lovely title Man vet aldrig hur dagen har varit förrän gumman kommit i säng. And that means you never know how the day has been until your lady's gone to bed. I have to show you. It's such a good, funny title. I had to have this. I haven't played it yet, but it's got lyrics by Carl Evert, and he was a man who wrote many slightly, for the time, naughty lyrics. Please focus. Okay, never mind. Oh, I see now what I did wrong here. I have to cover it all by with the camera. Yeah. Never mind. Oh yeah. I bought a slightly worn Columbia comedy record too from 1928 by the Swedish comedian and singer Arthur Rolén. Inkomstbringande affär and Nyckeln. The main reason why I bought it, it's a bit worn and it's got a hairline crack, but I think I'll be able to play it without problem. The main reason is because it's quite rare. I've never seen this before. It's not the kind of, it's not an issue that you see lots of time. I've never heard it even so before. Okay. That was some 78 RPM findings. Thanks for staying so long and watching this video. Let's have a look at some vinyls. And first of all, I have to show you a record that I really, really recommend, even if it's probably quite hard and difficult to find if you're not living in Sweden, because it's a Swedish group that I have rediscovered. I remember them well from when I was a kid, and I remember having a bit of problems with their singer not having the best kind of voice. But now today, well, I've learned to to like the voice of Bob Dylan, so of course it's easier to enjoy the voices that aren't perfect. And I'm talking about a group called Hansson the Wolf United. And it was a group, two of the members came from the Swedish Prague, Lorne de Wolf, which was the... I'm going to show you this one. Lorne de Wolf, who was the, well, main musician, songwriter, and the singer. This is Lorne de Wolf. Had played in a group called Contact earlier, and also in another prog group that made one album. I can't remember the name now, but sorry. And so many good songs on this. Very good pop with very intelligent, clever lyrics. Doesn't use that many words, but managed to put a lot of sense into it. And on this, the first track of the second side here is a tune called Var kommer barnen in? And in Swedish you would say, well, what about the children, or where does the children come in this whole discussion, or something like this. And that song, when I heard it, I remember it from my childhood. It was being played quite often on radio. And I played it today for my family, for my girlfriend. She's Russian, and she said, well, it has a kind of Russian feeling, the minor theme, and also in the fact that they mentioned Leningrad. And she gave thumbs up, so I think it's safe that I could try to find more of their albums. They made a song in the mid-80s called Oberoende vad fursten säger. And that song has been mentioned as one of the best songs with best lyrics from the 1980s. And I've been having that song, the memory of that song, in my head all day. That song isn't on any of these two Hansson the Wolf United albums that I found at the local charity shop. So I guess I have to go search for that album too, because very good. Yeah, and they're a bit forgotten today, alas. There's some other thing I would like to say. Yeah, we got actually the drummer who played on many of ABBA's tracks, who plays on these albums, Ola Brunkert, the late Ola Brunkert. Yeah. Hansson the Wolf United. I've rediscovered them after 25 years. I've listened and I've said, hang on, this is very good. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, another group that I've been more and more curious about lately. I've heard about them for many years, but I haven't really started checking them out until now, because I found 2 albums with them at the local charity shop for almost nothing, and it's at the Alan Parsons Project, and it's this one, Eve, and it's from 1979. Looks like this. It's a issue on Arista, and this is a Canadian issue, custom label, and this was apparently a bit of a hit album back then. So I haven't listened to it that much, but I will listen to it closer next couple of days when I have some days off from work finally. And also this one, which was a great success when it was first released, Ammonia Avenue from 1984, also on Arista. Yeah, we can have a look at the label here too. It's also on the custom side here. This is a Dutch pressing though. Or is it even Swedish? Well, it looks like a Swedish pressing because it says NCB, Nordisk Copyright Bureau, on the label. But I'm not sure here. The sleeve looks like it's made in Holland. Oh yeah, and now over to an artist that I wanted more records with for a long time. And now I got one here, and it's Susie Quattro. And this album, If You Knew Susie. Great singer, great musician, great artist, and incredibly good looking too, I have to say that. You see the sleeve is rather worn and ugly looking, but the record is in tip-top condition. It's a British issue on the Rack Records, which was a subsidiary of EMI. Rack, and it's from 1978. Very nice. Susie Quattro. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you now an album with the Swedish answer to Traveling Wilburys, and they started playing a couple of years after Traveling Wilburys, and they had a massive hit, and it was a group called Grymlings, who looked like this. We have Magnus Lindberg, prog singer, and also was a member of Landslaget. Mikael Rickfors, rock singer. Pugh Rogefeldt, who has been mentioned many times by the Swedish members of the vinyl community as one of the first artists who actually recorded rock and roll in Swedish. And Göran Lagerberg, who played in the groups Tages, Blonde, and also Kebnekaise. And he still plays with Kebnekaise today. This was a great hit, especially the first song, Mitt bästa för dig. But many of the songs were hits. This is from 1990, and it's on the WEA, W-E-A label. I mean, it's Warner Elektra Atlantic, I think. And I have to say, this is one of the first albums that I bought on CD. I got my first CD player in 1990, and I bought this. I think the CD is at my mother's home now, but I remember playing this CD over and over and over. I liked CD so much when it was new, but I didn't have that many CDs, so I love this album quite well. I haven't listened to it now for maybe 17, 18 years or something like that, because my ears were a bit worn out with Grymlings. But now I found this on vinyl in very good condition, almost mint condition. So I look forward to listening to it again. Great pop music. Oh yeah, and over to a Swedish legend. I don't know if I would have bought this if it hadn't been for the fact that it didn't cost anything and that it was quite in good shape. But the Swedish rock singer Jerry Williams, who had his great big breakthrough in the early 60s. He did a bit of soul in the late 60s, but still has been a great rocker during all these years. He had a bit of a comeback in 1989, although he never really stopped recording or touring, but he had a comeback when it comes to hit songs in 1989, when he had a big hit with a Gavin Powers composition, Did I Tell You? And this was the album, Jerry Williams, or JW, this is called. Cool guy. Cool veteran back in 1989. He's even more a veteran now, and he started talking about, well, I think I'm going to stop now. But we'll see. These great rock stars, they never really quit, do they? This was issued in 1989 on the Sonnet label. For those of you who don't know what the Sonnet label of the late 80s, early 90s looked like, it's silver grey with blue sonnet written and black printing. not the most exciting sonnet label. There's been many interesting sonnet labels during the years. But anyway, yeah, and then over to, I didn't really know what this was, so I thought it might have been music, but it's actually a spoken record, poems. It's Rod McEwen, Listen to the Warm, and I only knew Rod McEwen from some of the songs that he's made, and also from the interpretations of the is it Jacques Brel? Yeah, Jacques Brel. But I didn't know that he was a poet. I didn't know that he wrote classical music. I had no idea. So I haven't listened to this yet. So we'll see if I'll hang on to it. Cost nothing. Yeah, over to another Swedish legend from the late 70s this time. A guy called Bosse Blomberg, but he used to call himself Blomman, which would mean the flower. And his first album was mainly filled with Swedish interpretations, not translations, but interpretations of songs by J.J. Cale. Songs like Lies, Cocaine, Cajun Moon, Clyde. It looks like this. Små knepiga låtar. And was issued on Mercury in 1977. It has the common Mercury label for the time. Great Swedish interpretations. I mean, he deserved a greater career than he had, but actually he passed away a couple of years ago, and he had some great problems in his life. He was, I think, he was homeless for a couple of years also. I'm not really sure about this. Many gaps in his biography, but he's passed away. He's not around us anymore. All right, now over to Maxi EP, 12-inch EP with a group that I don't really collect, and I don't really. Well, I think I know why I bought it, and this is Sentimentality, because now those of you who may have seen some of my previous videos know that I used to have a very good friend. We were best friends for 30 years, and he passed away last autumn. His name was Roger, and I've seen that I've started actually looking for some of the records I know that he loved, and this is one of them. And it's a group that those of you who are familiar with the Eurovision Song Contest may remember. It's the Swedish group Herreys. They won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1984 with Diggiloo Diggiley, and this is an EP that followed up their first album, and it's called Varje liten droppe regn. And I have to say, the song Varje liten droppe regn was later made in English by, I don't remember, but some artist, but it was done in an English version called People Say It's in the Air. It's a good song. It's a good song. So it's not in best condition. I'm not sure whether I will hang on to it, but I bought it because it reminded me of my very good friend. He had this, not on vinyl. He had it on a cassette, cassette with 2 songs on each side, of course. And I don't remember if it was that when he bought it, but there was some sort of injury to the tape in one of the songs that made the music and the singer be quiet or stop sounding for maybe half second. And my friend usually said, "Oh, he got a hiccup there. Got a hiccup. Oh, this is the song where he got a hiccup." So, yeah. Okay, the final one. Thank you for being able to sit through this whole video. Those of you who actually can do that, I admire you very much, because I know I wouldn't be able to sit through my videos this far. The final one is connected to my 78 RPM collecting. It's an issue with the great singer Peter Dawson, The Floral Dance, and the recordings here are well, it doesn't say where they are from, but I would say the acoustic years, the acoustic recording years. Quite sure of that. We have 20 different songs. The Floral Dance, Boots, Fill the Fluter's Ball in the Monastery Garden, Old Father Thames. Nice issue, and it's on EMI, and it has the, it doesn't say when it's from, but it has this EMI label that they started using in 1973. This beige one, or tan one, with a large EMI, red EMI at the side. I think it's from the late 70s. I'm not 100% sure. The recordings are much older. All right. Oh yeah, it's a mono issue, so no fake stereo, so it can't be that early from the 70s. Right. Yeah, that was some recent vinyl finds that I found yesterday. That's it for now. Bye-bye.